My name is Beverly and I'm back again. Today we're going to talk about chiropractic care. And since I'm not an authority on that subject at all, I'm going to bring my husband, Dr. Bill Monacle, in to do today's wellness video. So have fun and learn a lot.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bill. Long before I became a chiropractor, it was something I believed in because I've always liked things that make sense. It only makes sense that if God created our bodies to work in a certain way, any alteration to that needs to be addressed and effectively changed. In other words, let's go all the way back to when we were first formed in the womb. The cells start to divide, a mass forms, and then the cells begin to specialize, and the very first thing is the brain. Obviously, that's the center of our being as far as the energy that drives our body. And then the spinal cord forms, and then the nerves start to form, and they go out to the other cells, and then those cells start to form our organs, our muscles, our bones, whatever that tissue is meant to be. So it seems very important that your nervous system has to be operating properly. And it's also scientifically proven that pressure along a nerve can cause an alteration in this energy flow along the nerve, so that you have either a slowdown or maybe even something speeding up, much like when you have too much acid in the stomach. So if you can affect the problem, meaning the pressure on that nerve, and alleviate that so that the energy flows freely, to me it only makes sense that wherever that nerve is going, proper function should return. And we've all done things like cross our legs too long and we get up and our foot is asleep. That's the kind of pressure I'm talking about as far as altered sensations, or maybe even you've hit your funny bone. Well, there's a nerve right there in that spot, and what you've done is temporarily compress that nerve and caused a temporary alteration in that nerve energy. So on a continuing point of the spine being aligned so that the nerves are not being compressed, and when a vertebra moves out of place into what we call a subluxation, and the joint becomes swollen, much like when you jam your finger, and it's the swelling that puts the pressure on that nerve root, then you're going to have altered function. And that's what we would really like to avoid. And if we would start using that to our advantage in our move toward wellness, we would be a whole lot better off. All these people that run to their doctor every time they get a sniffle, they got a cold, they think they've got the flu. Well, those are all functions of an immune system that should be operating properly. If our immune systems work, we just don't get as sick as if it is slow to respond. And chiropractic is really the only healthcare professional that can affect the immune system and make alterations in the nerve flow that go to the organs that produce the antibodies. So when you think about that, we really should be, as chiropractors, the first line of defense against those, instead of going and get you get antibiotics for a cold. Well, a cold's caused by a virus, and they're not even responsive to antibiotics. So a lot of these things make no sense, and that's why our healthcare costs are going through the roof. And in contrast, I'm going to show you some numbers that came from an ad in our local paper. The ad's focus was to bring about community support for hospitals, clinics, doctors' offices, getting on a software program that reported preventable medical errors nationwide. So if a doctor messed something up out in California, the doctors on the East Coast can read about that and not make the same mistake. So hopefully they were going to sell their software program to all these healthcare professionals so that they wouldn't be making the same mistake more than once. So let's take a look at those numbers. The problem, as this ad points out, is that each year preventable medical errors kill approximately 200,000 hospitalized patients. In fact, a full 20% of all people that die in the hospital die from something they didn't even go there for. Think about that for a minute. 1 in 5 people die from something they did not go in the hospital for.
An additional hundreds of thousands of patients suffer injuries and prolonged stays. Of course, that equates to more money. In fact, America's annual expense due to medical errors is between $37.5 and $50 billion, with the patient or third-party payers picking up the tab. That means the expenses are transferred to all of us, either through higher taxes or higher insurance rates. Preventable medical errors is between the third and sixth leading cause of death. And usually coming in around number 4 is properly prescribed medications. Most of that stuff is poison. Sometimes it may save your life, but it's never going to move you towards wellness. More patients die every 6 months due to medical errors than the total of all soldiers lost during the Vietnam War period. That's a pretty amazing statistic there. Hospitalization in the U.S. is more dangerous than being in the Iraqi war zone. Wow. The average single medical error carries a price tag of $32,000. The average increase in hospitalization expense due to medical errors for every U.S. hospitalized patient is $4,750 per admission within a 750-bed facility. Error rates average between 2.9 and 3.7% of hospital admissions. 17.7% of preventable errors are serious, resulting in death or disability. And between 6.6 and 13.6 of preventable errors result in patients' death. That's just an astounding statistics in my book. And even further, over 2,000 people die from iatrogenic. Now that's a fancy word meaning caused by the doctor. Iatrogenic side effects from medical procedures or side effects meaning from other adjunct procedures per week. That's a fact. But your chances of having a stroke or something serious from a chiropractic adjustment are 1 in 5 million. Chances of dying, 1 in 10 million. And yet, people just run down the chiropractor, yet they run to their doctor's office. It really makes no sense. Remember I told you I like things that make sense. If everybody would go to their chiropractor first to see if they could get a turnaround in their wellness, we could alleviate this big discussion up in Capitol Hill about healthcare reform. We would reduce the need greatly to even have as many doctors and tests and medicine. It'd be a great day for that to come about in this country and even the world. And when you look at about half of all personal bankruptcies in the United States are due to medical bills, consider the fact that we keep getting fatter, we keep getting sicker, we keep getting more and more in debt trying to cover these things. It's not going to get any better unless we make the decision today to move towards wellness. And in future videos we will talk more about things that can help take you there. And then even at the end we will have a good full presentation on how you can affect your financial wellness. So we look forward to talking to you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, I hope you learned a lot today. Bill has so much knowledge about chiropractic and how the body works, and that's the reason I had him do this part instead of me. I'm going to be using him again because we're going to be talking about nutrition, and there's so much to go over about nutrition, and I need his knowledge. But hope you learned a lot, and I want you to be looking out for that next video because it'll be here tomorrow, and you're going to be learning some more neat things about moving toward wellness. You have a great day. Bye.